episode of Mimi's Musings podcast. I'm your host, Congo Mildred, and I'm so happy that you've joined me on another Saturday for another amazing episode. On today's episode, I'm going to be talking about Plot 10 Chronicles. And this is just a short story about tribulations and trials, or should I say trials and tribulations that I've been going through for the past, how many months has it been? 4 months or so. Yeah, because I was thinking about what to talk to you about today until I was like, you know what, I need to vent because I keep forgetting that's why I wanted this whole podcast thing for myself and why it's called Mimi's Musings. Because it's just me talking about my own things. And the way I used to talk to myself in the house, I still do that, by the way. But the reason I wanted to be talking about them loudly and sharing them with you is so that if there's somebody out there who also goes through these things where they live by themselves and they don't have people to talk to all the time and they talk to themselves most of the time, they can have a platform where they can be, okay, so I'm not alone. There's somebody else who also goes through these things. And so because recording by myself in my house, it's like talking to myself because right now it's 1:45 a.m. and I'm talking to this phone of mine, recording myself talking. And yeah, it's like me just still talking to myself. So yeah, this is why I started it, to just be venting to you people. So whoever listens, thank you so much. Because I know you do not comment, but at least if ever this gets traction or whatever and I get the engagement, I'll be like, okay, at least I'm not crazy and I'm not alone in this, because I'm sure I'll see one or two, three people saying that, yeah, that's me. I also do that. So in February, okay, I should go further back. I moved into this apartment in December 2015, right? And when I got here, there was a different caretaker who was taking care of this house, this plot, or these flats, these apartments. And then, come March the next year, 2016, he was fired because apparently he was taking money from the tenants and not giving it to the landlady, like not paying. So what he will do, because when I was moving in here, they were insisting on having to go to the bank to pay. They didn't want you to use like easy cop mtaani and stuff like that. So it was, you have to go and line up in a bank to pay for your rent and then come and give them the receipt. So when I moved here, I remember I paid them and I told them I insisted on having the receipt. So they gave me the receipt, which was good for me because sijui ningefanyaje if they wouldn't have paid. So they gave me the receipt and then I moved in, I think one or two, either that January or February, one of those months, they paid for me. I will give them the money and be like, Nikirudi jioni, I need the receipt. And they did. But there are other people who never asked for the receipt. So because they trust the caretaker, they will give the caretaker their rent and then never ask for the receipt. And that means they think they've already paid, but the caretaker will pocket that money. So when the landlady found that out, she came here, blah, blah, blah. They changed the guy who was taking care. I think he ran away when he knew that they were coming for him or something. And then in March, we were introduced to this other caretaker who has been taking care of us ever since. So the caretaker was a man, but he had a family, he had a wife and a son at the time. And so he wasn't the best at what he was doing, but he tried. I won't say that he was my favorite human being. I have stories about him, but that I'll never talk about. But yeah, he was not my favorite human being. But then at some point, it switched from the man being the caretaker to the woman, the wife. And she was strict. She was good. Like, she was rude sometimes. I will not even lie. Anybody who knew her will tell you, yeah, she could be rude sometimes. But she was strict. And that strictness made this place look good. It made this place be, inviting to people. Like, you could come to look for a house and you would love this place from the moment you entered the gate, because it was always clean, there was always water and everything. She did a lot of things even without the landlady's permission, because the landlady is a very I have words for her, but she's older than me, so I do not want to use those words that I have in my mind, but I could say things about her that would make me feel like ugh. So, but the caretaker found ways, to go around those issues with that woman. And yeah, she managed to make this place one of the best places of, like, anyone would want to live on a budget, because we pay very little money. So she used to charge us water, which I recently realized that, yeah, we pay water through the rent. So we don't have to pay extra for water, which is, I think, is one of the reasons why she was chased away. So March this year, she was fired and she left. When she left, the new caretaker, they did not like hand over or anything. So this other guy comes a few days later after the other caretaker has left, and he's like young. He's very naive, very innocent. Like, I look at his face and I feel sorry for him, because I see him and I see like a younger brother, and I just feel sorry for him, because I don't think he's going to be able to deal with that woman who's the landlady for these flats of ours, like on a long term thing. I don't think he's going to survive, because he's very young, as I said, and very naive, and that woman is the devil incarnate. I can say that freely. So the other woman, and she was older, she used to complain about this woman and how difficult she is. To give you context, like, if anything spoils in your house, like whether it's the electricity, whether it's the water heater for hot water showers, whether whatever it is, this woman cannot fix it. She does not fix it. My toilet has been leaking for years. I have a bucket underneath. Well, I used to have a bucket underneath the toilet thingy, but it's no longer there because we do not have water. So it's no longer there, but I used to have a bucket there. Because during Sylvia's time, we had water 24/7. And if we didn't have water, it's because the whole of this area where I live in Kasarani did not have water for a couple of days. But she did a good thing, Sylvia, that is, she brought us water from another plot, that is borehole water. So ya Kanjo Kizima, we have borehole water, which used to supplement the Kanjo water. And it was good. That's why we had water 24/7, and it was working for us. So even paying extra for water was not a problem, because she used to use that extra money to pay for that borehole water and to do any other thing that was needed around the flat. And she used it, by the way, because sometimes when I complained about my toilet leaking, and I was like, I'm not paying for that, that's where the money came from. She would ask somebody, these plumbers from Wamta, to people who just get drunk and they say they know how to fix things. She would ask one of them to come and do that, and they would come fix it, and then she would pay them, just to remove that issue of this woman does not give money for this and this and this. So she found a way to deal with this thing. Again, I mean, putting a woman in charge helps a lot sometimes. So after she left, as I say, this boy did not know how to do anything. He was not handed over anything. And the day that he came, I remember it was on the 10th of March. That was the last time we had, like, okay, not the last time, because we've had such instances like twice since then, two more times, so three times since he came. But he came on a Tuesday, we had water. Then on Wednesday, we had water until evening. And then after that, water was gone. He did not know how to deal with the water and how to, shut the pipes upstairs when water starts pumping and stuff. So you'll be in the house and you just feel like, drrr, drrr, like water is coming in through the pipes, and you're like, okay, you open the taps, there's nothing, like it's very little water that is streaming in. So you would put like a bucket and you go even outside and go to the shops and come back, and it would still be doing that. So I told him, I remember I advised him, like, okay, I know you have not been, handed over or anything, but just a thing that you should know is that when water comes when you're pumping, learn where you're supposed to lock the water upstairs, so that at least it fills in the drums, and then in the evening you can open. Or if it's a lot, like during the day, as long as one or two are filled and the water is still pumping, then you can. And it was like, okay. And he did that. He listens, by the way, he's good at that. And so he did that. And so after that, I think the next day we had water, sort of, because he finally turned the water on, and we had water on Wednesday. So I have this drum. It's like a 210 liter drum. in my house, like a tank. I filled it up and I was able to use it until the next Tuesday. So like when it's full, I can use it until the next week. And I have like buckets, 20-liter buckets. I also fill them up. I can use them until the next week. I have bottles where I put like drinking water. I can use them, which was, I hadn't used the water that was there at the beginning. I remember my grandmother when asking me, do you even change that water? And I was like, oh no, because I didn't remember even the last time where I had to refill it like up to top. Because when we had water issues, I think the last time I had used up to like half of it, and then water came and I filled it up, and it had been months since I'd even opened that tank to use that water. So after this boy came, that's the first time I finished, like I finished all the water and cleaned that thing, because my grandmother had asked me, do you even clean that thing? And I was like, no, because the water's never finished. But this time it did, and I had to clean it. So the next Tuesday when water came, I, started afresh. So that was that. But now it used to happen like on Tuesday, he would open the water in the morning, like at 9 or 10 a.m. So I'll get out of bed, fill up my drinking water bottles, my cooking ones, because I have like 4 2-liter ones. I'll fill them up, and then I'll put a pipe so that my drum could start. But then it wouldn't be like full. It will just get to like a half, which I will use for the toilet. But the toilet, like I would flush, then clean it, and then, use that, and the water that I would have gotten that morning. So, and then in the evening, for people who are not there during the day, he would turn the water on again in the evening. So I would fill up that drum. There's some times where even on Wednesdays I didn't have to, because I already had enough water from filling them up on Tuesday, and maybe on Wednesday, I would have showered with a basin of water and, rinsed the bathroom with one small bucket. So I would just fill those ones up when water came on Wednesday evening. And so that became our thing. So that was March, April, May, at least the first and second week. Actually, the first week. Oh, yeah, on the second week, because May had many weeks. So we have that. Tuesdays in the morning and in the evening, then Wednesdays. Then out of nowhere, mid-May, Tuesday in the morning, nothing. And I think I just had enough to flush my toilet. So I was like, okay, I'll have to wait until evening when he opens the water so that I can shower. And I was like, okay, sawa, but fill things up, then take a shower. Evening came, he turned on the water, and this one I filled it up. I filled everything up because I was like, just in case there's a problem. But yeah, so I managed to fill it up on Tuesday evening, and on Wednesday again, everything that I had used, any water I had used, I made sure I had replenished before, like that Wednesday. And then that was that. That week I was good. The next week on Tuesday came, and because I remember I did my laundry that week, that's why I was filling up everything. So after I'd washed my towels and my sheets, the next week on Tuesday, I'm waiting for the water to come. Nothing. And I had such little water remaining, like very little water remaining. And then Tuesday morning, nothing. In the evening, believe me, because now the water that was remaining, I used to shower and stuff. And so waiting for evening so that I could, replenish. When I tell you that only a quarter of water came through, a quarter. And so I was like, okay, what is this? A quarter, that's all I could get. Like even drinking water, I remember, I only filled like my cooking water bottles, the 4 that I've told you, 2 liter, 2 liter, 2 liter, 2 liter, those ones. Drinking water, I still had some bottles available. I still had some waters full of water. I still had some bottles full of water for drinking, but cooking, I started with those ones, and then try to fill up that tank, only a quarter of it. And now people used to buy water because not everybody has a tank, like whatever. I don't know what to call it, like a drum for water or whatever. Not everybody has one. But mine, I bought it kitambo because I've lived here a long time, and I've had periods where we didn't have water before. When they were fixing the roads or whatever, they will cut the pipes and stuff. So I had to buy one. But there are people who came during Sylvia's time after I had even connected the borehole water, where they would go without water just for a day. And if they had sold in a bucket or something, they would use that, but the next day there would be water. So they were accustomed to there being water all the time. So they never bought a drum. But I had one because of that, because of living here a long time. And so it was full of water. But this time, no. I had never bought water when people were buying. And I was like, thank you, God, at least I have this one thing, because people wake up in the morning and they go to work. I do not go to work. I stay here doing nothing the whole day, or trying to keep myself busy with these things on YouTube and stuff. So at least I have that one thing going on for me. But this week, no. I had to buy water. It was the last week of May. I did not have money. And I'm thinking I have to go to my uncle's. And I didn't want to go to anybody's house. Not just my uncle's. I didn't want to go to anybody's house. I wanted to stay in my own house because I'd been feeling down the whole of May. I haven't written for my blog for 2 months now. The last time I wrote was on the 27th of March, if I'm not mistaken. Ever since, 2 months have gone by. 2 plus, and I've not written. My mind has been just hectic. I've been having anxiety attacks here and there. Like, it's just chaotic. Very, very chaotic. And so I was not in a good place to go to anybody's house, because like in my uncle's house I have my little cousins who I love so much, and I would have loved spending time with them. But the way I was feeling mentally and emotionally, I was not good to go to anybody's house to spend time, especially with little kids who, like they laugh, they play, they want you involved and stuff like that. I didn't want to put them down or make them have a bad mood because I was having a bad mood. So I honestly didn't want to go to anybody's place. But I remember even talking to my aunt and being like, I might have to come to your place. But I was praying to God for a miracle, because I did not want to go to anybody's place. And leave that aside, going to their place would mean looking for fare to go, going and coming back, which I would be like, that money say just buy water. Because one jerrycan, 20 liter of water is 50 shillings, because I live on the 5th floor. So wherever they go and get it from, and then they bring it up to the 5th floor, it's 50 shillings per 20-liter jerrycan. So you can imagine. I was like, if I get the 100, I'd rather buy two and use them, nicely until Tuesday. Because this was by, I think, Thursday or something, or Saturday. I think Thursday or Friday. And so I'm like, okay, so I have water up to Friday. Saturday, whatever is there, I might have to go to my uncle's place. So I wake up on Saturday and I do not want to go anywhere. I remember crying the previous night and the night before on Wednesday. And on Thursday, when I realized the water I'm using now is about to finish, and I'll have to buy water or go. And I cannot go because I do not have fare. I'll have to walk all the way from Kasarani to Gumba and then come back on Tuesday when there's water. Or a miracle happens and I buy water. And I'm so pissed because, like, why am I buying water and I'm paying 500 in my rent? I'm paying 500 for water, ya kanjo, and you're not getting enough water. So, like, it was just a bad week. I was already having a bad week, and that entire incident just made it worse. So, that Saturday, I'm in the house and I'm like, let me call this young man, because I'm thinking, I have 10 liters of water remaining. Drinking water, I have 5 liters of water. So I'm like, if I can use the 10 liter to take a shower, some will remain to wash my face towel, blah, blah, blah. And then this 5 liter, I can do whatever I might need and then just go to my uncle's, or it can remain, because I don't want to leave the house without water completely. So even if I'm coming back on that Tuesday, I'll come back during the day. I'll have to drink water, I'll have blah, blah, blah. So the 5 liter will be enough. So I'm thinking, I'm in bed. I'm trying to read because I have downloaded so many books by the on my phone. I'm trying to read, trying to keep my mind busy, but I'm not concentrating on what I'm reading. Have you ever read a paragraph, even 2, 3 paragraphs, and then realize on the fourth one, like, you do not remember whatever it is that you have read in the previous ones? That is what was happening to me. So I was just disturbed. And then a miraculous call came through. God, thank you so much and bless you for doing this for me, Mama. Because I got a call out of nowhere that I was not expecting, because I was like, I'm not going to call anybody to ask for any help. The only person I'm going to call is my aunt to tell her that I'm going there, unless a miracle happens. I'd been praying for a miracle. I remember. I was just like, God, please open the doors, do something for me. So I get a call, and through talking to this amazing lady, she sent me some money, and that is what I ended up using to buy water. Because honestly, I was broke. When I tell you I had nothing, I mean I had nothing. And then I'm like, I don't want to go. So now I don't have to go to my uncle's. I don't have to go to anybody's. It's okay. I can cry in peace in my own house. Because all I felt like doing the whole of last week was cry. I was surviving on crying. I will go to bed, tears will just start coming out of my eyes. I will wake up in the morning again, tears. I'll be sitting trying to watch something, tears. And remember, I didn't have to record or edit anything, which usually keeps me busy. So my mind was just like roaming, and anxiety was like my best friend during that week. I don't know what was happening. Like everything, I just felt like I kept asking God, I have this one thing going for me, this one thing, water. And why? Why don't I have it? Like, I'm not asking for much, just to fill up my drum and I'm good. Once it's full, I'm good for the whole week until the next Tuesday. I've complained, but at least with that, I still have something. But this time, nothing. So I call the boy, the guy, the caretaker, and I'm like, I call him a boy because he's so young. Like, his face just looks like a kid, honestly. So I call him during the day after getting the money because I want to know about this water issue, what exactly is happening, blah, blah, blah. So there's been an issue. Every time he will complain about the landlady, she doesn't want us to have the water from the borehole, blah, 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 blah. So I call about that and other things. I ask him, he goes like, oh, we are even here at the borehole, and there are these guys from the plot, from the apartments, and they were asking this guy to connect the water. Apparently Sylvia left a debt there, so we can pay for that. I'm like, yeah, if we have to give as the plot and we pay for that debt, and then that person reconnects the water, it's fine, because it's better, we'll have water in the apartments. So I don't mind contributing to that. But apparently, the landlady does not want us to have the borehole water, and categorically told that other guy not to allow this caretaker to take money from us or to ask him to connect the water. So these guys called that lady, like the caretaker called that landlady while they were together, and they were talking up. They were trying to talk to her, to ask her, to plead with her, to allow us to let the borehole water be connected, and we are going to pay for ourselves. There's no problem. But she goes like, but they'll be passing through my tokens, blah blah blah. We're like, we are going to pay for that. Sylvia used to collect money from us. We can do that. We do not mind doing that. So I don't see a problem. So apparently the woman is very against that because there's some people who complained. Like there's a time they had paid for water, and they didn't, then there was some problems with water and stuff. So they called the landlady and were like, why did I pay for water and I do not have water? You know? So when they complained about that, this woman was like, oh, so Sylvia is taking money from these people and they do not have the resources that they're paying for, which was stupid because there was a problem everywhere. And that landlady collects money for water, ya kanjo, from us through the rent. Like she gets 20,500 or 20,000 or something like that per month from every house, because the apartment is full. So she gets around 20,000 and something. She says she pays 20,000 to the kanjo for water that we are using. But since this guy came, since Sylvia left, we have not had enough water in the apartments that would warrant 20,000. So I'm like, what are you saying? What water are you paying for 20,000 because we do not have the water? And then she refuses for the borehole water to be reconnected. So those guys, one of them decides to have a brilliant idea, and I'm putting that in quotes because it was a very stupid idea. His idea was to come back into the apartment and lock the gate from inside with a padlock, and then like do a demonstration or something. And I'm like, because when I was talking to the guy, the caretaker, this guy took the phone and was like, we have gone there. He tried to explain to me what had happened. And then it gives me that idea. And I'm like, no, locking the gate is not a good idea, because there are people who are outside, they're at work, or they're going to visit whoever. When they come back, they won't know what is happening. They will get to the gate and they'll be like, what? They'll try to use their keys. They will not open. So that makes no sense. And he goes like, no, I'm going to do so you can demonstrate. I'm like, what's the outcome that you're expecting? Or that we all go downstairs and we have a meeting and we call that lady and we talk to her together. I'm like, that makes sense. Going downstairs, all of us, talking to the lady, fine, because she doesn't want to come here. So we can call her and we talk to her as a unit, because now she'll know that everybody's complaining. Because she had told these guys, like, if you have a problem, you can move out if you want. So because there were just two of them who were there. But if we are as a unit, if we go all of us, then that will be different. She'll know that everybody's complaining. But remember, the people who called about water issues, blah, 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 they have separate tanks. So when we've been having water issues, they have not. Because whenever water comes, this boy starts with their tanks and then goes to fill ours. And I was like, can you try and do the opposite? Can you fill for the rest of the apartments before you fill in for theirs? Because they have water 24/7 and they're the ones who complain to that woman, that landlady, about blah, blah, blah. And then we are the ones who get hurt. Because even if they get half of their tank, it's 1,000 liters of water. They can use that until the next week. But the rest of us, we can't survive on one 2,000 liters of water the whole flat for the whole week. It makes no sense. So we go downstairs because that guy went to each floor, calling, knocking, and telling people to go downstairs. By the time we were going, because I was like, okay, let me run, go and buy dinner, then come back, and then we can have the meeting. Because I'm going downstairs. I live on the 5th floor. Because I'm going to the ground floor, it's okay. I'll be there already. Either we have the meeting, then I go and buy food, or I go and buy food while people are still coming downstairs, then I go. Because I was getting githeri, and that's easy because it's already cooked. Just get it, buy tomatoes and onions, come back into the building. We have the meeting and I come back upstairs. And by this time, I had already asked the guy that was bringing water to bring water for me. We go downstairs, the gate is locked. This guy with a brilliant idea, again in quotes, he had already locked the gate from the inside with a padlock, his padlock. And so we go downstairs and there's a gate. I'm like, can you please open when people are still coming? I just go outside there. It's not far. I buy my dinner and come back. He goes like, I'm not the one who has the key. See mimi nimefungata. Like I also went downstairs and the gate was locked. I'm like, what the hell? You came to my door with a padlock asking me if you can lock it and I told you no. Because it's a terrible idea. There are people who are outside. What if there's an emergency and somebody needs to leave? And he goes like, I do not know who locked it. Go and ask the caretaker. We all go downstairs and the caretaker is there. He sees like not everybody because it was Saturday during the day. Some people have gone to visit families. Some people are still at work. Not everybody was at home. So the few that were there, we were talking. So we start giving out ideas. Some of us say that, maybe we shouldn't pay rent for this month of June. Maybe that will make her know how serious we are, because if you're paying rent and it is inclusive of water, but then she's not providing water for us, maybe we should refrain from paying rent, and then that will make her feel the pain that we're feeling, and maybe that will make her take action. And then somebody else was like, okay, maybe we form a WhatsApp group and all of us complain there, because we tried to call her, by the way, all together. The caretaker called her several times. She did not respond. I think he called her up to 5 times. She did not respond. We all got her number. Try to call. Everybody was trying to call her. She refused to answer the phone calls, like completely. And she wasn't even putting it off. Maybe it was silent or something, but it would just ring until the end. She wouldn't pick it up. I was like, wow, the audacity. Because she had told us, like, if you don't want to stay here, then leave. And actually, she had also said that if we don't have to shower using like the showers, we can just, collect water and bathe using a basin or something. We don't have to use showers. And our toilets are using a lot of water, like the 10-liter tanks. Like not the modern ones which are tinier. These ones use a lot of water. So when you're buying that that jerry can for 50 shillings, half of it is going to the toilet just for flushing. And if you are doing the right thing, you're supposed to flush it at least in the morning when you go number 2, and in the evening after you've been going number 1 during the day without flushing it. Then before you sleep, at least you flush so that you can sleep with a toilet that is smelling nice. And that is if you're living alone like me. If you have family, how much water are you going through? And you've already paid for water in the rent. So anyway, people give suggestions. And I remember even suggesting, okay, if she's paying 20,000 to Kanjo and that water is not coming to us, why not to get rid of the Kanjo water, shut it, and then we can just get water from the borehole, which is even lesser. Per unit, they're selling to us at 48 shillings, which is still so much less, and that 20,000, she can use to pay that and buy electricity, the tokens, blah, blah, blah. It will still be enough and change will remain. We're giving good ideas. That nincompoop, that had decided to lock the gate. He walked off, started answering his phone because his idea was, I don't know, we demonstrated, we locked I don't know, we hit the gate or whatever. I don't know what he was expecting. Because people are giving ideas there. We are talking about things, the WhatsApp group, we're giving numbers to add ourselves to the WhatsApp group and blah, 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 who's going to head it, blah, blah, blah. People are talking, giving good ideas. That man has left. And so when the meeting is done, that lady has refused to answer the phone. We go like, okay, now whoever's locked the gate, please open. We go and buy dinner. I come back. I'm already downstairs. I'm not going to go back up, then come back down later when he has come to his senses. And that day, I remember the Arsenal game was happening with PSG. So people really wanted to go and watch the game. So some guys also, they're like, okay, whoever's locked the gate, please open. But everybody left and went to their house because they didn't want to argue. But I'm like, I live on the 5th floor. I'm not going to go upstairs, then come back down again later on. I don't want to do that. And remember, I called somebody to bring me water as well. I need to take a shower. And this person has not yet brought the water. I don't know. Maybe they came and they found the gate locked. I don't know. But yeah. So I'm downstairs. I'm telling the caretaker, please open the gate. He's also like, I'm not the one who locked it. I came out and the door was locked and the gate was locked. Well, the larger one in the middle, opened that one. He took the keys as well. This nincompoop comes back and I'm like, could you please open the gate? Do you know what he did instead? He went to the first floor. He had some things he was going to give them to a friend, or I don't know. He used the first floor balcony, gave those things that he wanted to give through the balcony, and then used the balcony to get down. And he left. And I'm there because he came and I was like, can you open the gate? I'm not the one with the key. I'm not the one who locked it. I don't know who locked it. You caretaker, can you open it? I'm like, you came to my door with the padlock. You told me you're going to lock it and I told you no. I'm not the one who did it. Me, you saw me. He tried to gaslight me. I was so like, if he knew my mental state at that time, and if he knew just how much more irritated I was with his shenanigans and his God, he was trying to gaslight me, and I'm like, God, give me strength, because if I say what I think about saying, because I wanted to burst out and just yell at him everything that I've been holding in, because they said I'd been having a bad week. Mr. Nincompoop, he continues gaslighting me until I go like, well, arguing with there's no use of arguing with I didn't finish the sentence. And he goes like, with a fool. And I'm like, well, because he finished it, he knew he was a fool. That's why he said it. I didn't call him a fool. He called himself a fool. So I keep quiet and I'm just like, this is now too much. And I'm like, my emotional state is not enough for me to bear this. I do not have the strength to carry this nonsense. God, please give me the strength. And so he leaves. He goes through the balcony and he leaves. Because I was telling him, this is a fire hazard. And it was just right after the Utumishi fire that same week. And I'm like, do you know if there was a fire in this building? This is a fire hazard. We need to have a way to leave the building. But if you're locking the gate like this, do you know what that will do? And he goes like, fire hazard? What is a fire hazard? Where will the fire be coming from? And I'm like, we're standing right next to the, I don't know, power, whatever, downstairs. All our power is connected here. It could start from here. Literally, it could start from here. Electrical fires, kwani how do they happen? And he goes like, kuna kitu kama hiyo. And he's a border guy. Not to insult border guys, because I know some of them are smart. But you know how one of them rides terribly, and hits like an expensive SUV. And then he falls down and all of them come out of nowhere and they start, hitting that car and wanting to kill the driver for hitting one of them. I understood where that came from, because this man, what he was doing and what he was saying and the gaslighting that he was doing, exactly that same behavior is what they do on the roads. So he pissed me off like nothing else. He pissed me off. And he's gone. So I'm standing there talking to the caretaker, because I'm like, now, if people who are outside, when they come out, what are you going to do? And now he's just defeated. Because everybody's complaining to him. As I said, he's very innocent, very naive. He's young. He doesn't even know. Because he knows that he's the one who locked it. He knows that he's the one who had that idea of locking the gate. So, of course, some people who are outside, they come at the door. And they start knocking. Nothing. They knock. Nothing. They try to use their keys. nothing, because it's opening, but the door is not locked. With that, it's not with a padlock that nobody knows about. And so I tell them from inside the gate, like, hey, just wait, we are looking for the key. Somebody has locked the gate with a padlock that we do not know. So I'm like telling the caretaker, we will have to find a saw or something to cut this padlock, because this is not okay. And you can't be arguing with somebody who is refusing to use their common sense. Because I remember even him shouting, like, if you want the gate to be opened, call that landlady and tell her that you don't have water, so that she can know that people are striking, the gate is locked, and she can come here. I'm like, do you think she will care? You saw us trying to call her. The caretaker called her how many times? All of us called her how many times? She did not pick up. So you want us to continue trying to call her until she picks up and tell her what? That some nincompoop, I didn't say that, but some nincompoop has locked the gate from the inside, and as we don't know who it is. Do you think that is going to make her come? Do you think she cares that much? Woman said that if we want, we can move out if we wanted to. She said that we don't have to shower. We can bathe with water from basins and stuff. That is the person that you think is going to come here rushing because somebody locked the gate with a padlock. Anyway, well, after I tell those guys, wait, we're looking for the key, there's a man who comes downstairs. He lives in the flat, and he comes downstairs. He wants to go and watch the PSG versus Arsenal game. And so he's there and he's like, who's locked the gate? And I'm like, I tell him the name of the guy. So I think they had just met, or they had known each other, but they don't really know. Like, men can be talking, but they don't even know each other's names or where they live. But they're friends. They watch the football matches together, they sit together, they talk together, but they don't know where each other lives or their names or whatever, if they're married or not. They don't know any personal thing about each other. So this guy goes like, where is he? And I'm like, he's left. He jumped through the first balcony and he left, which for me it was also like, you are showing thieves how to get into this building. So I asked the caretaker for their number. Luckily had it, because he wanted to go to the house where that guy lives to ask. And I was like, I don't think you'll find, because he might have gone with the key. So he calls the guy. They're from the same tribe. So he speaks to him with, in their tribe. And because they're also men, and he's like, I want to go and watch the game. Finally, that man admits that he's the one who locked it and comes back. Because this guy was like, come and open the door, I want to go. Because I can hear the language. It's not my mother tongue, but I can hear it. So I'm hearing them talk about it. And he's being like, just come and open the gate. I want to go and watch the game. Don't be like that. It's okay. We have talked. Whatever has happened, just open the gate. I go and watch the game. So that guy decided to come back and open the gate. He gave the key to this guy, and the guy opened the gate from inside. I just told him like, thanks. And then I left, because honestly, I didn't want to go all the way up, then go back downstairs again later. And I really needed to shower. I wanted to shower. I wanted to take a bath. I was feeling icky. So I go and buy my githeri. And when I leave the gate, that man is outside there with another motorbike guy. And when he sees me, because I wasn't even looking at him, I was just walking by, he goes like, Madam, mi utanikasirikia, utaniholdia grudge pako shangae. Your grudge yako. And I'm like, excuse me. I put my hand up and was like, excuse me. I do not have the time. I do not know you. I do not know you enough to care. I'm not going to waste my time. And I walked off. I was like, I just walked off. Because I'm like, I do not know you enough to hold a grudge. I do not know you enough to let you live rent-free in my mind. Like, other than telling this story and anybody else that I've told about that incident, I don't think about him. And I'm an overthinker. So best believe this would have played in my head over and over again. And especially the argument we were having downstairs while he was trying to gaslight me into believing that he's not the one who locked the gate after he'd come to my door with that padlock telling me that he's going to lock the gate. So it would have replayed in my mind, but it didn't. Meaning I forgot about him immediately. Like, I was just like, he's a stupid guy. I'm not interested in, because he had one good idea and one very, very stupid idea. And he wanted to stick onto that stupid idea, thinking that it was going to help. And best believe, when we told him about the WhatsApp group, he refused. He said that that is not going to help anybody. When we told him about not paying rent, he clicked and he was just like, yeah, you guys are being useless. So for him, that idea about locking the gate and locking us in and locking whoever is outside, that is what would have made that woman, the landlady, do something about that. So I was like, this is stupidity of the highest rate. But I just walked off, went, bought my githeri, talked to somebody who I was like, could you find somebody who could get in contact with the man, like the landlady's husband, because they have other apartments around this Kasarani area. So could you get to talk to somebody who can communicate with them, and maybe he can help us, because this woman is punishing us and I do not know why. Because we have a way of getting water that is even cheaper, but she does not want to allow that. So she's insisting on Kanjo water and there's none. So anyway, we move along. This is on Saturday. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, now last week. Tuesday comes and again no water in the morning, only in the evening. And when it comes, I remember I was just sitting here because on Monday, actually, that's when it started. I knew I had dengu in my freezer. So I had switched off my freezer because that's the only thing remaining in my freezer. So I switched it off and I was like, okay, let's wait until tomorrow it will have thawed and then I'll make rice, and that is on Monday. Monday, I'm in the house. I'm thinking, okay, I'm starting to feel hungry. Let me, boil my rice and heat the dengu, mix them, eat that for dinner. And then I remember I do not have enough water to cook the rice because I need water for cleaning the rice and water for boiling the rice. I do have water in the house, but it's the water that I bought, which is from a borehole. And these jerrycans they used to bring us the water in, I do not know where they get them from, so I do not trust them that much. So I couldn't just like use that for cooking. And all the water they had brought, I'd put it in like my showering buckets and laundry buckets. Only a little bit I'd used for washing the dishes I had, but I couldn't use that to cook. And the drinking water I think I was left with like 2 liters. I couldn't use that for washing the rice and cooking. So I'm like, so I do not have dinner for tonight. Like, you don't even want to know what I ate that day. But yeah, I survived. So on Tuesday, I'm waiting and I'm like, okay, because now I didn't eat my rice and dengu yesterday, I'm waiting for the water to be switched on, then I can cook. 9 p.m., nothing. 9:30, nothing. I call the guys like, oh, I'm waiting for the fundi to come because pipes have water locks. The fundi has to come sort the water locks first before he turns the water on so that we can use it. Otherwise, the water will not come through. I'm like, okay. And we wait and we wait. Some minutes to 10, the guy comes and the water is there again. Because now all my drinking water and all my cooking water was gone. I had to refill all those bottles, which took a lot. So I'd fill those up fast because it was like, just in case next week we'll have the same problems, let me just fill all of them. And there are many, by the way, there are many. So by the time I go to now starting to fill the drum up again, only a quarter. And then it was gone. My hair was dirty. I didn't wash it in a while. Like I'd washed it, but ile tu like nilikuwa nimeshuka matuta. So like washing it while I'm showering just even juju. So I had undone the matuta and I wanted to wash it properly. So the water I had gotten, that's what I used on Wednesday to wash my hair while I was showering. All of it finished. And I'm like, I know there's some more that is coming this Wednesday, so let me wait. Wednesday again at night, he switches on the water and I'm waiting and it's not coming through. Why? Water locks. And when my pipes have water locks or water lock or whatever they call it, I can hear my neighbors, stocking up. Like in my neighbor's house, it's like water is flowing properly. And in mine, it's barely a stream if there's any. So it's a stream and then nothing. A stream, then nothing. I'm calling this guy. He's not picking up because he's on another call. Hang up again, try again, try again, try again. I think he answered the fourth or the fifth time. And now my anxiety levels were at a terrible high. I'm like, he goes like, yeah, Sema. I'm like, sina maji. Oh, fundi anashughulikia. Then he hangs up. I'm like, I haven't finished talking. So I try to call him again. He does not pick up. Call him again. Fundi, I'm like, kama fundi anatengeneza, why don't we switch off the whole thing so that when fundi akishatengeneza, all of us can get water at the same time? Because my neighbors are stocking up while I still do not have water. By the time the fundi finishes fixing and then I start stocking up, I will not get enough. Goes sour, but my neighbors still have water. 5 minutes later, that's when water starts coming into my house. And again, streaming. So I just attach the pipe and I put it in the thing. And this time it goes like, it's not half, but it's not a quarter. Like it went just a little bit over a quarter, but not yet half. And that was it. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, what the actual hell? And this woman expects me to pay her 500 shillings through my rent for water that I cannot enjoy. I have to look for money to buy water again this week. Like, I was pissed. My anxiety was so high. Like, I think hey, I don't know. I was like, if I can't eat, because I just made my ndengu with the water that I had collected from the previous day. So I was like, okay, let me make my rice, blah, blah, blah. I've served it. And then that's when he switches on the water. That's Wednesday. So I couldn't eat because I was trying to stock up. And then that whole scenario of calling him, my anxiety was getting high and all of that. And then there's no water. And my neighbors, I can hear them in their bathrooms. They are washing clothes. They're doing what with the water that they've collected. And I've not collected enough. I need to do thorough cleaning in my house. My carpet is so dirty. I want to wash it. So there's an alternative. I take it to the garage. It is washed there, which will cost me 800 shillings that I do not have. 800, but 800 was a couple of years ago when I last washed it at the garage. I usually wash it myself. So now I do not know. It might be 800, it might be more. So I don't know. So maybe 1,000 bob for washing my carpet. So there's that. My clothes, I need to wash my sheets, I need to wash my towels, and I can't do that without water or buy water to clean them because that was going to cost me like more. I need to take them to the washing machine, which will cost me. One towel goes for 100 bob. A sheet goes for 50 shillings. So 2 pairs, 100. So this woman does not care that we do not have water, and we have to buy water. We have to use like expensive measures to just keep our houses clean. So my house looks filthy. Like I try using like a karag just to panguza where you walk and stuff like that. But this carpet is disturbing me. And even if I remove it, I'm sure beneath it there's dirt and stuff. I'll have to do like proper thorough cleaning. I do not have enough water for that. And again, do not have now money again to buy more water. I was remaining with 100 bob. Like so this week, that's what I did. I bought, was it yesterday? On Sunday, yeah. Because the water, I made sure I use it like nicely until Sunday. I took a shower with the last remaining one. And then I bought 2 jerrycans for 100 bob. The last 100 bob I had. So at least for Monday, showering and the toilet. And at least a little bit for tomorrow morning, which is Tuesday morning. And hopefully, at least just for flushing the toilet, then hopefully water will come. Even if it's in the evening, I can at least get some and take a shower in the evening before I sleep. Because I don't think I'll have to go downstairs tomorrow during the day. So I don't have to be worried like, oh, I'll be thinking, in front of people and stuff. But if I have an emergency and I have to leave. So yeah, those are the plot 10 chronicles and where I'm just at right now, fed up, hating my landlady for what she's putting us through. And she does not care because I don't know where she lives, but I believe she lives in a nice place. They have borehole water, they have water 24/7. Or even if they don't have borehole water, they have like a cistern or whatever it's called, and they get water from, Kanjo. They come and fill it up and they always have water. But where her plot is, that's where she draws the line. She does not care about the people who live here. I hear people are saying that, oh, because of whatever Ruto decided, like adding the rent and stuff, she wants maybe people to move so that whoever comes in new, she can add the rent, which is stupid because nobody will want to come and live in these houses. Because when I come looking for a house, I'll ask, is there water? And you just look at the floor, it's dirty at the gate, dirty because it has not been washed for months. And then that person tells you that there's water. You will not live there. So make your apartments very, very attractive, like how Sylvia had done. That way, if anybody comes looking for an apartment, she'll be like, oh yeah. I used to hear people walking up and down the stairs looking for a house. And they'll be like, oh, niko safi. Kuna kaa vizuri, nini. Because it was neat, it was clean. Nowadays, people put their dustbins outside their doors. Every floor, dustbin. People are throwing their garbage outside. Yes, garbage bags and stuff, but still, it's not neat. It's just not. I don't know. This is too long. I think we have already passed like the 50 minutes mark. And yeah, it's already 2:35, so I need to be preparing to go to bed. But I just had to talk about this because it's crazy. So that's where I'm at. And tomorrow is Tuesday. Well, today, because it's already past midnight. And I don't know if we're going to face the same thing, or if he's going to do something better, or if the situation is going to change. Because I'm just tired. The last time we had water like from Monday to Thursday properly, and I enjoyed that week like immensely, was during the Easter weekend, the Easter week. That's when we last had water like that. Since this guy came. The others just Tuesday and Wednesday, Tuesday and Wednesday. And then she's telling us that she's paying the city council 20,000. How? How? For what water? And if that's what you're doing, then you should complain to them. You should tell them there's a problem somewhere because your people are complaining. Problem is she's not an advocate for the people who live here. She's not an advocate for her tenants because she doesn't freaking care. And I've never hated somebody I've never met. Like I hate her, but I truly, truly hate her because she's an egotistical maniac. Like very narcissistic. You know, so yeah. That's why I'm at with my plot 10 Chronicles, because that woman is a mother effing something. Like she's just so yeah, this is another week and I have to choose. Now my only issue used to be, after I've paid my bills, it used to be, okay, what am I eating? How am I getting money to eat? Okay, so blah blah, mostly food. But now I've added new things. I have to wonder, okay, where am I getting money to buy water every week? Every week I'll have to get like 100 or 200 bob to buy water to fill up whatever I would have gotten, the little that I would have gotten on Tuesday and Wednesday. That is my life now. And I'm supposed to get used to it the way Kenyans get used to everything. Yeah, so let me finish it there. I don't want to get over 1 hour. So yeah, and the way I've been speaking, there won't be much for me to cut. So it will still be around 50 minutes, and I hate editing long videos or whatever. So yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. Just help me, because I feel like if I had money, like this is why I hate being poor. If I had the money, I'll just move to another apartment in this area. There's so many that are amazing with water 24/7. Even there's one that does not even have a caretaker and it's running properly. They have security because their gate is locked and everything. Ours, They finally washed this plot this week, these apartments this week. When was it? I don't know, 2 days ago or something, or a day ago. I don't know. I don't know where they got the water from, but they finally did. So I would have moved if I had the money. Like this month, I would have moved. I wouldn't have continued staying here. I would have gone to that apartment that has that borehole water. Because I'd rather ask a friend from a neighboring apartment to just help me with drinking water from city council and then use that one for every other thing. But I do not have money to move. So I just have to sit here and wait. And I hate it. I hate that I'm so powerless that there's nothing I can do but complain and sit and, take it. I hate feeling like this, and that is just adding to my anxiety. So yeah, let me leave it at that. So go to the comment section and tell me if you've ever been in such a situation, if you've ever had a frustrating landlady like we do, if you have a very naive caretaker like we do. Like, just tell me if you can, you know, you you're familiar with this situation. Just tell me, because I don't know what to do, honestly. My hands are tied, basically. There's nothing I can really do, because if I refuse to pay the rent and it's only me, I can be kicked out either way. And then how do I start? Where do I start from? So there's also that. So it's just chaotic. I'm at my wit's end, and I'm frustrated and angry and I'm upset and everything in between. So yeah, tell me in the comment section what you would do if it were you, what you would have me do. Okay? Go to my Instagram and to my TikTok, follow me, Mimi's Musings Podcast. Remember that I'm still baking, so if you want for me to bake for you, or if you want me to cook for you, please tell me in my DMs, Mrs. Podcast on Instagram, and I'll surely do it for you, okay? And then, of course, remember to please like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications so that whenever I upload something new, you're going to be amongst the first people to come and watch, okay? Bye-bye now.